First of all, hi to everyone. Myself Prashant. We are in the second chapter of Indian polity, that is making of the Indian Constitution, and this is part two of this chapter, right? So let's begin. When was the first meeting of Constituent Assembly held? So it was held in December 1946. And who was the first interim president of this Constituent Assembly? So that person was Sachidanand Sinha, right? And why Sachidanand Sinha only elected as the interim president? So the reason was that French practice was followed. According to French practice, usually the oldest member gets selected or elected to a certain post, right? So this is the reason, and we also need to know that how many sessions were held for enacting the Indian Constitution. So 11 sessions were held. You need to know this 11 sessions, and these 11 sessions were held over a period of 2 years, 11 months, and 18 days. 18 days. 2 years, 11 months, and 18 days. And also, how many sessions? So, 11 sessions were held to to enact the Indian Constitution. Right now, let's move to the next slide. So, after Sachidanand Sinha, who was elected as the president of Constituent Assembly, the person was Rajendra Prasad, and H.C. Mukherjee was elected as the vice president of Constituent Assembly, and B.N. Rao, Sir B.N. Rao, was nominated or elected as constitutional advisor. Pardon me for the wrong spelling. Here it should be O, constitutional advisor, right? Now let's move to the next slide. Objective resolution. This is very important, right? On this objective resolution only, a constitution of India is based, right? Or is heavily inspired. So this objective resolution was brought in December 1946 by Jawaharlal Nehru, and this objective resolution contained fundamental philosophy. And this objective resolution contained fundamental philosophy of constitutional structure of India, right? So this is very important point. It is saying fundamental philosophy, right? Fundamental philosophy of constitutional structure. Now, what did this objective resolution contain? What were the content of this objective resolution? So, first is that this objective resolution proclaimed India to be sovereign, independent, and a republic. Now, here I will try to re here I will try to interrelate the content of the objective resolution with the present day Indian Constitution, right? So, sovereign. Sovereign word is there in present Constitution of India, and the sovereign word is there in preamble, right? This republic word as well is in preamble of our Constitution. If you're talking about this independent word, this is not there in independent. This is not there in the preamble. Not there, not there in the preamble, right? So now let's move to the next slide. Objective resolution also says that also says or stated India to be union of all territories. So this thing is there in part one of Indian Constitution in Article 1 only. Article 1. Article 1 says India to be union of states. Union of states, right? Here it's saying territories, but in present constitution it's union of states. So it is similar. Questions can be asked, and all power and authority of sovereign independent India derived from preamble. So this is also indicated in preamble of India. It is saying preamble of India says we the people, right? We the people. So it indicates that power is derived or power is directly related with the people of India, right? Now let's move to the next slide. So this point in the objective resolution states about justice, which should be social justice also, economic justice also, and political justice also. Exactly, this is we can say this statement is exactly copy pasted in the preamble, right? In preamble, you'll find exactly the same statement, right? Preamble also says the same justice, social, economic, and political. So it's there. Uh, the same with this point as well. It says equality of status of opportunity. A preamble says exactly the same statement. So this is also there in preamble, right? This is also there in preamble, and this point says freedom of thought, expression, belief, faith, worship, vocation, association, and action subject to law and public morality, right? So here also will interrelate with the present day articles of Indian Constitution. So freedom of thought, obviously it's there in fundamental right in Article 19. By the way, fundamental right is in part 3 of the Indian Constitution, part 3, FR for fundamental right. So this freedom of thought expression is in Article 19, right? So you should know this, and it also says right to faith, worship. So this thing is there in fundamental right in fundamental right section only. It's in Article 25. Article 25, right? Article 25 is about right to freedom of religion, right? So this is there, and it also adds the limitation of this freedom. So a limitation are there with respect to law and public morality. So if you see present day Constitution of India, then you'll find this limitation in present day fundamental rights as well, right? So this limitation is there with present day fundamental rights as well. So if you're talking about Article 19, in Article 19 includes right to move freely throughout the territory of India, but that particular right has the limitation with respect to law and public morality. So when there will be when there is a issue of law and public morality, then that right will be taken away, right? So this is what it means. So this point says about adequate safeguard to minorities, backwards tribal areas, and depressed and other backward classes. So all these safeguard are in fundamental rights, directive principle of state policy, and even fundamental duties, right? So here also here you need to know that fundamental right is In Part 3 of Indian Constitution, directive principle of state policy is in Part 4 of Indian Constitution, and fundamental duties, FD for fundamental duties, is in Part 4 of Indian Constitution, Part 4A, Part 4A of Indian Constitution. Usually this is in Roman. So Part 3, Part 4, Part 4 and Part 4A. Part 4A, right? So this is really important to know. And objective resolution also states about integrity of the territory. So exactly there is the same statement in preamble, in today's preamble as well, today's preamble of Indian Constitution. And this integrity of territory was not there when India got independence, right? This was added through 42nd Amendment Act. 42nd Amendment, 42nd Amendment Act 1940, 1976, which came effective, or this particular Amendment Act was effective from 1977, right? So this was during Indira Gandhi. This particular act was enacted during the term of Indira Gandhi, right? So this you need to know, effective from year 1977, effective from 1977, right? Then this point says that promotion of world peace and welfare of mankind. So obviously we know in Hindu religion or in Hindu culture, uh, there is this Vasudev Kutumbakam, Vasudev, Vasudev Kutumbakam, 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 right? So and according to this Vasudeva Kutumbakam, world is one. So this statement, this thing in objective resolution is inspired from Vasudeva Kutumbakam only, right? And this statement, promotion of world peace and welfare of mankind, is in present day Constitution of India as well, right? And it's in directive principle of state policy in Article 51. Article 51, last article of directive principle of state policy, right? So you need to know, and even this Vasudev Kutumbakam motto was there in G20 G20 summit, which was held in India. G20, one second. So this was Vasudeva Kutumbakam motto was there in G20 summit India, G20 summit, which was held in India, right? It was held in 2024. So this you need to know, it is very important, right? Questions can be asked by twisting the statements. So now let's move to the next slide. And again, this directive principle of state policy is in Part 4A, Part 4A, Part 4A of Indian Constitution, right? So this objective resolution was unanimously adopted by the Constituent Assembly in year 1947. So unanimously means everyone everyone agreed with the resolution, right? Everyone was in consensus with respect to objective resolution, objective resolution, right? So here questions can be asked from this as well, that whether it was unanimously adopted or it was adopted, uh, uh, it was whether it was adopted by majority. So it was not adopted by majority, it was unanimously adopted. Everyone voted or provided their consent for the adoption of this objective resolution, right? Now, apart from we know that primary role of Constituent Assembly was to frame constitution, frame constitution of India, right? We all know this, but apart from adopting Constitution of India, Constituent Assembly performed other role as well, which is really very important to know. So the role was that it ratified India's membership to Commonwealth in May 1949. So it was in year 1949, and this Constituent Assembly also adopted national flag. So you need to know the day, month, and year. Questions have been asked, right? So a national flag was adopted on 22nd July 1947, before India got independence. It's obvious. It adopted national anthem on 24th January 1950. So you need to know again the day, month, and year, because these are, national flag, national anthem, national song. So it is really important to know. Uh, then it also adopted national song on 24th January 1950, and this Constituent Assembly also elected first President of India, Dr. Rajendra Prasad, in January 24 on January 24, 1950. So you need to know here, you can see the pattern, right? So national anthem, national song, and first President of India. One second. And first President of India. So they were all elected on the same day. Sorry, not elected, but they were, this national anthem and national song was adopted on the same day, and on the same day first President of India was also elected. So the day, month, and year is same, that is 24th January 1950, right? Here you have to only remember for Commonwealth membership in year 1949, and national flag was adopted on 22nd July 1947. So this is something which is very important, since these are this national flag, national anthem, national song are all a kind of national honor thing. So you should know these national honor things. Uh, we also have National Honor Act, according to which if a national flag is not respected, or national anthem or national song, then there are legal implications for that. Person can be jailed, right? So these are important to know. So thank you for your time. I hope you really enjoyed and learned something from this video. So our I'll be coming up next with the part three of this second chapter, making of Indian Constitution of Indian Polity, and I'll try to conclude this chapter in part third, right? So thank you again. Thank you so much.